I'm Beck Lane, and this is Catalyst and Company. Catalyst and Company, where we're catalysts in each other's lives as well as our own, and we work towards becoming the artists we've always wanted to be. Now, I started transferring the image from the original painting that I finished and posted about earlier. Started transferring it over to two larger canvases. And what I said I was going to do was a studio made a live feed so you could watch me play with the grid, the doodle grid or chaos grid, whatever you want to call it, that I had. But I became deeply engrossed in listening to Bumblebee radio and kind of working and trying to figure out how to decipher the different overlay images and how to get it to work with the doodle grid. What I ended up doing was building a third overlay for me to work on, one where the image I need to transfer and the doodle grid are almost equal in intensity. One where it's very, very light, and one where the doodle grid the image is very, very light. The doodle grid is bolder, and then a third one where the doodle grid is even bolder, and making the image that I'm trying to transfer more transparent. So I became very engrossed in that, and I just finished sketching the figures and some of the faces in. It's super, super stick figure, but I just needed time alone and quiet to figure it out. Let me move the camera a little bit. And I've started, let's see what we can do. Let's see. Okay. So this is a studio mate in another state. This is where you get to work in your studio, I get to work in mine. But the greatest thing is I don't make a mess on your side of the studio, and I don't owe you rent. Let's try this one more time. There we go. I'm just putting in aerosol now. I'm trying not to put too much into the face and the figures. I don't want to put too much in yet, because I don't want to lose the grid that I've built. So because I'm using aerosol, I may do that, and so I don't want to put too much down. But what I want to do right now is get some colors into the background on the two canvases. This is the top canvas, and I want to put in more color than I had before. So I make sure everything within the figures and outside the figures is more cohesive than in the original painting. The original painting it had too many darks, too much teal and purple, very, very dark. So I want to spray some in. In and around the figures. And I know I'm supposed to be wearing a mask. I'm not wearing one. Let's turn it again. Let's try that. I'm just going to try this in different directions. I'm not wearing one. I have a fan going and my door's open. Oops. I'm looking at the original image behind me. The doodle grid I have on two different iPads, and this is the other reason I didn't do a live feed, because I have two iPads, but I only have one holder, and that's what's holding up the iPad right now, so we can do this. I was working off the iPad that's actually fixed to a holder, and the other one, it just would have been too much for what I was doing to hold it up and blah, blah, blah. But since I'm going to be working on, I'm going to be working on the background, I'll have to grab the second iPad now that it's a little bit more charged than it was. This had no power. This older one is harder to power up. Let me see. Let me go back to the photograph and work a little bit from that. Okay. Oh. And I have been using the paint markers, but I primarily used, for sketching everything in, some acrylic paint, a couple of different blues, a little bit of white, but with that fluid, the fluid that I showed you in the last video. And it's been really helpful. There's so much to figure out. There's so much for me to figure out, because I have to transfer all my knowledge of oil paint and how it works with mineral spirits and how I get that nice flat effect. Now over to acrylic, which is not my favorite paint. But first it is, once again, getting down this, the background, colors and shapes in the background. I won't be spraying in the shapes like the leaves and different things because still have to cut the stencils for them. Where's my piece of chalk? I still have to cut the stencils for this particular canvas. Oh, and by the way, thank you for everyone that helped me with the math. Tyler, Eric, everybody, and Wesley for confirming it. I still was about an inch off. When I got down to doing their shoes on the second canvas that's right over there, I messed up, and I want the point of their shoes. I want their shoes in the actual mural, but I missed by about an inch. But it's still okay, because once we go to transfer this to the wall, I can just play with the wall, play with the image, and get them all lined up. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's a different way of seeing things, but again, it's just another puzzle, and I love puzzles. Yeah, I'm just going to try and get some of the information in the background up, which really is just, ouch, for me right now is doing the clabbered and putting colors in where the leaves and flowers are going to be. Why isn't that right? Oh, I'm doing two different clabbereds, that's why. This is a little bit confusing for me, and slightly difficult but easy at the same time, which is weird. But I'm going to practice and practice, so once I get to the point of being able to do a mural, it'll be second nature. Hopefully. Now today is Friday. I started this, last Wednesday? I think I started the original painting. Last Wednesday or Thursday, I'm not sure which. And I thought I would have had it done within 4 days. But I ended up, you'll hear me grunting and making noises. I have a neck injury. I fell a few years ago at a job and almost broke my neck. In fact, when I went to the hospital, they thought I had broken my neck, so they kept checking for broken bones. And it's been killing me. It's Thursday, this past Wednesday, it was so bad I could barely lift my right arm. Plus I was roller skating. Remember when I did that? I wanted to roller skate, I want to continue to roller skate, but I kept falling and hurting my shoulder, so it was either roller skating or painting, so I've had to stop that for now. There's no roller skate rink near me, so till I can get to one, we're all done with that. Skating on the streets, and it was super fun, but it's not fun when you fall and you rip your shoulder. I've got a torn tendon in my shoulder. I can feel it from last year. So we have been in pain. But then again, we're old. So I've got all this acrylic down, I've got some aerosol down, and as you can see, I'm drawing in again with chalk. And like I said, I want to keep practicing this, so when I get to the time, it's faster and faster and faster. I was watching Detour, the mural artist I've spoken about before, I Am Detour, and he talked about how one layout took him, no, it wasn't him. It was another mural artist called Kipto, K-I-P-Toe. He's marvelous. Both these gentlemen are super generous, sharing information, showing what they do. They're able to do time lapse, and so they're not doing this where it's real time. It looks like they just buzz through everything. But Kipto, one of the videos I was watching, talked about how long it took him to lay out one image, and it was like 3 hours to do what I did on these two canvases in like an hour. So I'm not saying, oh, look how fast I am. What I'm saying is I'm learning as I go how to measure, how to figure things out. So if you get a chance, look at Kipto's work. He's so phenomenally talented. But it is a different way of painting than I do, a different way of seeing things. And it's a talent that he has honed. The same with Detour. There's a lot of great mural artists online, on Facebook, that I watch. But now I want to take their tricks and their tips and put them to good use. It's hard to hold. Yeah, I spent all day Wednesday trying really hard to get anything done, but I had a raging headache like I do now, and I had to keep stretching and stretching. I think one of the discs in my neck is bulging again, because I can't pop my neck. I do a lot of stretching, I snap my neck a lot, I do I do different things to help with the pain, but this is not relenting. So when I first set up the original painting, I had the clapboards in orange. And then if we refer back to it, it went to, as I moved along in the painting, the clapboards, the wall behind them, became lighter and lighter in orange. But I love the way the orange glows through the titanium buff, and then the titanium buff mixed with different blues that are in the figures. And then I actually ended up using like a mixture of teal, titanium buff, and a little bit of white, which helped their faces to pop out because they are so dark. just a piece of paper up here. That's where I took everybody, all the information from people who tried to help me measure things out, figure out the appropriate measurements. And Tyler, you were right. I had to shave 10 inches off of the top and 10 inches off the bottom. But again, I laid this out incorrectly when I was doing it, so. But it's okay. It's okay. The world won't end. We've got it. Okay, I'm just going to keep following my lines, I think, yeah. I want to get this down pat so I can go whiz, whiz, whiz and measure out the days and measure out what I'm going to do each day and how long it's going to take me, or approximate. One thing I've been figuring out too is materials I'll need, how much they'll cost, where I'm going to get them. So once we get there, it's just boom, boom, boom. Oops, I think I got the wall. Oops. Yeah, went all the way down. Where's the sleeve? Okay. Not quite right, but okay. Yeah, kids, don't do this at home. Wear a mask. I think someone a couple of years ago was watching one of my videos and said, "You're a bad example. You should be wearing a mask." I'm like, don't ever use me as an example. Just don't. For safety standards. And again, I'm using, I've got ladder chairs. I think you can see one of them. Ladder chairs and a little shelf unit. And that's what I use to put my paintings on, the canvases on. Oh, wait a minute. I want to do that. Yeah, oh, okay. Never mind. There's the bottom half of the canvas, or bottom half of the painting, the second canvas. And I did have a piece of paper right across the bottom here to tell me that's where it would stop on the wall. But again, I messed up by a good inch. The shoes would end right there. But again, it's okay. It can all be fixed and calibrated. Okay, so we have right under the sleeve, right? And we came down to right under the sleeve. Let me see, did I transfer? Oh, good. I can check my overlays and see how the doodle grid matches up. No, it's not gonna work. Not in this instance. Okay, where's her hand? There's her arm. There's her wrist. Fingertip. Down to here. Let's check something first. How much can you see? Almost nothing. That might be slightly more helpful. Again, I'm trying to figure out the clapboard in the background. Clapboard, clapboard. And I'm working off the original image now. I'm not worried, I'm none too worried about doing an exact duplicate of the image that I finished yesterday. But I just used it as kind of a template. So I'm going back to the photograph and the images I have from the photograph. Switching back and forth. Why is her chin so low? You may get to see me climb up on another chair. That'll be fun. Again, this is the just really inexpensive Michaels, a little kit of Michaels acrylics, but it's mixed with Liquitex Flow medium. So I'm allowed to put everything in lightly. Put in my little stick figure lines nice and lightly. Oh, good. You got to watch my legs. Congratulations. I was actually working on up there. But you got to watch my legs. Congratulations. What did I do with them? I meant to cover the walls. Somebody's gonna have to repaint the wall. my middle. Lucky you. Pull my pants. We'll pull this back in a sec so you can see all the mess that I've made. And none of it is going to make any sense. But we know that's how I roll. Hi. I may need help getting back up again. So I was watching another video by Kiptow, and it was about a Bruce Lee image he had done, and he had gotten pretty far along. That's an enormous flatness. He'd gotten pretty far along in his mural, and he kept looking at it and kept looking at it, and it was really bugging him. And he finally said, "I've got to redo Bruce Lee's face." I think this was a mural in Seattle. And I'm so used to watching artists online who are like, "I get everything right the first time. I'm magnificent." That it kind of took me aback because he's so talented, and it just seems like everything comes out right and exact the first time, every time. And so it was nice to see someone of his caliber and his experience go, whoops, nope. And he had to whittle down some of Bruce Lee's face. You know, as I've mentioned several times over the years, I was brought up to believe you have to get everything right the first time, and if you don't, that means that you're an idiot and you're no good and blah blah blah. And now I don't care. That's how I'm able to do these videos. I really don't care. This is all one long process of learning and figuring things out. It's a never-ending process, which I hate using that word now, but it is a never-ending process. And there is always a learning curve. There are always going to be difficulties that we have to figure out. But for some reason, you know, watching Tiptoe, who had, I can't remember, 3 days or 2 days to do this huge mural, go, whoopsie doodles, I'm gonna fix this thing. And then he did. It just made me feel a little bit better. Less incompetent. And then I watched a video this morning of a girl who was a young, talented painter who was, you know, talking about what a great loose painter she is. Now, yeah, you're not my speed. I like the people that go, whoopsie-doos. I don't know everything, but this is what I've figured out so far. Let's get you a step back for just a sec. Now you still can't see the whole thing. This is 8 feet high, by the way. Let's get that book under there. Come on. All my fancy stuff. Yeah, you really can't see hardly anything. Let me grab this real quick. Twirl around. Do a twirl. And there's, okay, so there's the top of my head, and there's the top canvas. It's all gibberish right now. It's all utter and complete gibberish, as is every other aspect of this thing, but up there in particular, it's a mess of gibberish. But we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna stop doing the live feed now because I have to start cutting some stencils. The stencils will be applied to both their outfits as well as the background. So there's a lot of cutting I have to do now, and thank God, because my neck and shoulders are killing me. So I need a little break. But I don't want to go any further until I've got all the stencils cut that I need. I need stencils for their hair, but the leaves, butterflies, the zebra long-winged butterflies, the passion flower, and then all the zippity-doo-dah-day filigree that goes down below. So I'm going to stop now and get to work on that. How sweaty and gross are we? Sweaty and gross. Anyway, I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst and Company, and we did studio mate in another state. If you'd like to help support Catalyst and Company as well as the mural project and help me get supplies, coffee, snacks. We love snacks. God, I could go for a cookie right now. If you'd like to help, all the links for that are down below, including links to Cash App, PayPal, as well as TeePublic, where you can buy images of my work on tote bags, mugs, posters, all kinds of stuff. Some images. TeePublic, Patreon, where support starts as little as $5 a month, and you get a little prize at the end. But if you'd just like to buy me a cup of coffee, that would be fantastic. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I'm Beck Lane, or if you'd like pricing on any of the paintings you've seen here on YouTube or anywhere on any of my sites online, the phone numbers, the contact info for those guys are all down below. Jay Louise at Blue Egg Gallery in Fort Lauderdale, Andrew and Mark at Chasen Galleries here in Sarasota, and Raphael Coelho at Artfront Galleries in Newark, New Jersey. All right, ready, Carrie? Here we go. Mirror, mirror, mirror. Boink.